Halych is a historic city on the Dniester River in western Ukraine. The city gave its name to the historic province of Galicia, Principality of Halych, and the Kingdom of Galicia, Volhynia, of which it was the capital until the early 14th century, when the seat of the local rulers was moved to Lviv. Today Halych is a small town located only on one spot of the territory of former Halycian capital, although it preserved its former name. It also is the administrative center of Halych Raion of Ivano-Frankivsk Oblast. It lies 26 kilometers north of the Oblast capital, Ivano-Frankivsk. Population 6,247. Name. The city's name, though spelled identically in modern East Slavic languages, is pronounced Halych in Ukrainian and Gallic in Russian. The Russian transliteration should not be confused with the Russian town of Gallic. In Polish the name is rendered Halych, in the Yiddish language Halycian, in Latin Gallic, in Hungarian Halych, in Romanian Halyci. Local folk legend would have it that the name Halych comes from a legendary Prince Halycian, the first ruler of these lands. In fact, a kurgan referred to by locals as Halycian's tomb, excavated in 1996, contained a ritual cremation site and a bronze weapon and gold disc that could have belonged to a noble leader. Another version of the Slavic toponym Halych is after the Gauls, Galicioi, who occupied the area from the time of the Magyars. The Russian toponym ethnonym Kavalis may also be related. Historians formerly believed it was Celtic, related to many similar place names found across Europe such as Galati, Galatia, Gaul, and Galicia. Also, Halych postulates from Hals, salt, as the salt trade was a substantial economic factor in the medieval history of Halych. Max Vesma and modern slavists generally agree that Halych is an adjective derived from the East Slavic word for jackdaw, halka. Quote, "This bird featured in the town's coat of arms when it was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire." Old Halych. The oldest archaeological artifacts from the territory of Halych are classified to Paleolithic period 40,000 years ago. More systematic findings from a wide number of archaeological cultures dated from 5500 BC till nowadays indicate the population of local terrains was virtually perpetual for some past 7,000 years. According to excavated finds, the population of Halych became especially significant from 8 to 9 c. AD. Written mention of Halych by Slavic chronicles dates back to 1138. The most comprehensive records about Halych are found in the Hypatian Codex of the Primary Chronicle. In 1141, Prince Volodymyr Volodyarovich, who united the competing principalities of Przemysl, Zvanihorod and Terabovlia into the state of Halycina, transferred his capital from Zvanihorod to Halych, making it the seat of his Rurikid dynasty, and considerably expanding the settlement. Interestingly, local officials attribute the first written mention of Halych to the year 896. The opinion is supported by a record found in the Gesta Hungarorum, which are court chronicles of the Hungarian king Beacutele III from the beginning of the 13th century. The chronicles describe a stay of Hungarian tribes led by Prince Almaz in Halych on the way through Slavic land to Pannonia. The claim is not supported by serious scholars. Similarly, another curious date for the first written mention, 290 AD, is not accepted by majority. The first dynasty of Halych, descending from Vladimir of Novgorod, culminated in Yaroslav Osmomysl, after whose rule Beacutele III of Hungary briefly conquered the principality in 1188, before going extinct in 1199. The same year Roman the Great founded the new Rurikid dynasty, uniting Halycina and Volhynia into the more powerful Principality of Halych-Volhynia. The Mongols under Batu Khan took the capital in 1241, when the famous King Danilo was its ruler. Thereafter the town steadily declined, eventually ceding supremacy to the newly founded Lviv. The excavations of 1933–42, 1951–52, and 1955 uncovered remains of houses, workshops, fortifications, and 10 churches built of white stone. Pasternak's excavations established that ancient Halych originated on the spot of today's village Krylos as early as the 10th century. In 1936, Pasternak also discovered remains of an 11th to 12th century 3-apse cathedral with burial tomb of Prince Yaroslav Osmomysl in it. The cathedral is ascribed to the Cathedral of the Dormition, previously known only from chronicles, known to have been a sepulchre of the earliest Halycian princes. The sheer size of the cathedral suggests that ancient Halych was the seat of a diocese. Most likely the cathedral was built in 1157 and destroyed in 1241 by hordes of Batu Khan, then rebuilt again and last time mentioned in 1576. It is believed that the early Halycian architectural style, thoroughly permeated with Romanesque influences from the west, had been transferred further northeast. The builders of temples in Halych are believed to have also been responsible for the extant Pereslavl Cathedral and Church of Intercession upon Nerl. The foundations of the Assumption Cathedral are still to be seen. The only surviving medieval church is that of St. Pantaleon, originally constructed at the turn of the 12th and 13th centuries, but significantly rebuilt in the 17th century and controversially reconstructed in the 1990s. The archaeological excavations at the terrains of Krylos and Halych continue. New Halych. Gradually Old Halych depopulated to the point that its only mid-14th century inhabitants were the Metropolitan of Halych and his staff. The present-day town is situated about 5 kilometers away from the ancient capital of Halychina, on the spot where the old town's river port used to be located and where Prince Lubit of Lithuania constructed his wooden castle in 1367. Its main historical monument is the church dedicated to the Nativity of Mary. Originally built at the turn of the 14th and 15th century, it was restored in 1825. Also of interest is an equestrian monument to Danilo of Halych, opened in 2003 to mark the 750th anniversary of that prince's coronation as the King of Ruthenia. In 1349, following the death of Duke Boleslaw Jerzy II of Mazovia and the Galicia-Volhynia wars, Halych was annexed by Polish King Casimir III the Great. In 1367, it was granted Magdeburg rights, and in the same year, a Roman Catholic diocese was established here. 5 years later, Pope Gregory XI created in Avignon the Archdiocese of Halych, which controlled the dioceses of Kholm, Peremyshal and Volodymyr Volhynsky. In 1409, the archdiocese was moved to Lviv. After King Casimir's death, Louis I, King of Poland and Hungary, subjected Red Ruthenia to the authority of Hungarian-appointed starostas, overlooked by Duke Vladislaus II of Opole. Hungarians remained in Halych until 1387, when Queen Jadwiga of Poland removed them and re-annexed the area into Poland. In the Kingdom of Poland, Halych remained one of main administrative centers of the Ruthenian voivodeship. In 1564, the Sejm in Warsaw created a Sejmik in Halych, which ruled over the Zemia of Halych, including the Powiats of Halych, Trembola and Kolomyia. During the Polish-Ottoman War, Halych was burned by Crimean Tatars, and in 1624, Hetman Stanislaw Konispolski defeated the Tatars at Martinau, near Halych. In 1649, Halych was once again again destroyed by Cossacks of Bohdan-Khmelnytsky. Further destruction took place in 1676, during the Polish-Ottoman War. In 1765, Halych had 110 houses and 3 churches, and Franciszek Potocki serving as local starosta. The town was seized by Austrian troops in 1772, and remained part of the Habsburg Empire until late 1918. In 1870, the population of Halych was 4,142, including 1609 Roman Catholics, 1690 Greek Catholics, and 839 Jews. On November 1, 1918, until May 1919, the town was administered by Ukrainians. Following the Polish-Ukrainian War, Halych temporarily returned to Poland, which was confirmed in Paris on June 25, 1919. On September 16, 1920, during the Polish-Soviet War, the Battle of Dniester took place near Halych, and on March 15, 1923, the Conference of Ambassadors recognized permanent Polish control over eastern part of former Galicia. Until the Soviet invasion of Poland, Halych belonged to Stanislaw Voivodeship, in which it was the seat of a county. In the beginning of July 1941, the town was occupied by Germans. The Jewish community was large. Most of the Jews lived in the town center on the right bank of the Dniester River. In the fall of 1941 and 1942, 1,000 Jews were assassinated in a mass execution. Some 20 to 30 Jews were drowned in the river. After World War II, its Polish residents were resettled to the so-called recovered territories. Tourist attractions: Halycian's tomb, the burial of legendary ruler Halycian. Reconstruction in Kurgan, in Krylos. Church of the Dormition, in Krylos. Remains of Cathedral of the Dormition and St. Basil Chapel, in Krylos. Reconstruction of 16C wooden church typical of Halycian, in Krylos. Prince's Well, in Krylos. Residence of Mitropolit, in Krylos. St. Pantaleon Church, the only survived 12C church from Halych, Volhynia. Castle of 13 to 17C, in Halych, built by Casimir III the Great in the mid-14th century, and remodeled by architect Francisco Corazzini in the early 17th century. Captured by Turks in 1676, it was left in ruins, and most of its walls were dismantled by Austrians in 1796. Church of the Nativity, in Halych. Gallery. Location.